Better.
My point of information is for Dr. Dionisio. I am in possession of certain facts and assert that we are in violation of OPMA pursuant to the Code of Ethics and board policy. No individual board member can make decisions for the board. According to board policy, a committee does not act for the board. A committee may not take actions on behalf of the board. A committee chairperson cannot make decisions for the board or for the committee. A board president cannot make decisions for the board or for the committee. We have an email chain in which we are in violation of OPMA. The board president is purposely pushing the conversation about how we are hiring board legal counsel behind closed doors. The process by which this board hires legal counsel is an open public meeting topic. Not only is it being repeatedly pushed behind closed doors through emailed threats by the board president, there is purposeful intent to keep other board members out of the process. I preface my question to Dr. Dionisio with putting on the record that I protest the attempt through email to push an open public discussion behind closed doors and excluding not only the public, but also other board members. I request that you stop further discussion of this open public meeting topic in emails, and I assert violate OPMA. I further ask that this protest be recorded in the official minutes of this meeting. Dr. Dionisio, you recommended to the board that it hire Fogarty and Hara. It was on the agenda for the reorg of this board. I would like further information from you as why your recommendation is to hire Fogarty and Hara, given your experience of having been a superintendent for over a decade and having worked with many legal counsel. I further go on record for the public that I have and will continue to request all board members and all legal counsel who interview with us state any and all interactions they have had or have with or about any of legal counsel who has submitted an RFQ. This includes, but is not limited to, any discussions about any of these law firms or individuals at these law firms, any time they have socialized with any of these individuals, or if any friends or acquaintances discussed any of these individuals with you. The board president has roadblocked this request, which I'm making public and should be public, and I'm going on record that anyone who has interacted directly or indirectly with any of the law firms or individuals at those firms recuse themselves from any discussion about that law firm. I'm making the formal request of the superintendent and board president to share now and make a log available to me and the full board of any interaction the board has had with Fogarty and Hara since January 5th, including a list of topics discussed. This should include any correspondence with other counsel. I made the request several times already. Thank you.
So could you tell me what section of Robert's Rules you're moving under?
Point of information.
It's a request for information? Or
Yeah, I just requested it of Dr. Dionisio.
Well, according to 33.6, you're supposed to make the direction to the chair.
No, a point of information is permitted without consent of the chair. My point of information is for Dr. Dionisio.
Could you give me the Robert's Rules section? I'm not finding this.
Pursuant to NJSA 18A:1720, he's a non-voting member of the board and has the right to speak on all matters at board meetings. According to the state statute, the board president cannot tell the superintendent he can't speak. My request is directly to the superintendent.
I'm just trying to understand what your inquiry is. So a request for information under 6:17 is called a point of information, which is an inquiry as to the facts affecting the business at hand, directed to the chair or through the chair to a member. So you're requesting information about what the ad hoc committee is doing? You're on that committee.
I think I made my point of information clear. It's directly to Dr. Dionisio, and you don't have any right to stop Dr. Dionisio from answering that.
No, I'm just trying to understand, what is it that you're looking for? You're looking for...
You want me to read it again?
You want for facts undergoing what the ad hoc committee is working on?
Do you want me to read it again?
I just want a summary. So you're asking for information on a matter that the committee is already working on?
I'm asking for, I mean, I think I made it pretty clear. I didn't read it too fast, but I'll read it again. But of Dr. Dionisio, I would like Dr. Dionisio to explain why, given his expertise and experience, he wanted to hire Fogarty and Hara, which was on the January 5th agenda. And then I finished with additional information about all the violations, including OPMA violations that have taken place in email since, let's say, the 9th of January.
So you're requesting information from the superintendent with respect to violations under the Open Public Meetings Act or under the Code of Conduct or ethics? I'm just trying to understand.
I'm not asking you, I'm asking Dr. Dionisio
Right.
for the information.
Well, what information is it?
Ms. Sullivan, I've
so
said
sorry.
it 5 times.
So you want him to...
I want Dr. Dionisio to provide the information that I requested. That was my point of information. It goes to Dr. Dionisio, not the chair.
And so I don't see that it can go to anybody else except to the chair. If you have a section of Robert's Rules, I'm happy to look at it. I don't see it. And the matter is not on the agenda. We can certainly entertain this in board discussion, but the committee is working on this, and you're on the committee, and Dr. Dionisio is at the committee. I don't understand the request to make now in public for this information. We're a committee-based form of governance. This is how we make decisions. It's typical for us to have an ad hoc committee that, as you know, since you're on the committee, to make procedures, to put out the RFQ. Dr. Dionisio is at those meetings. I think it would usurp...
I requested, being on the committee, answers to these questions multiple times. I haven't received them. Now I'm requesting answers to these questions in public, and I am not receiving them.
I just don't understand what you're trying to do. Are you trying to put the superintendent on the spot about why he put...
You don't have any right to ask what my intention of a question is. I'm asking a question of the superintendent, who is a non-voting member of the board.
And you want him to answer...
Allow him to answer the question.
Well, what is the question? I'm not sure I understand. Could you just do it one at a time?
I am in possession of certain facts and assert that we're in violation. You want me to start all the way over?
Just take it one at a time.
Dr. Dionisio, this is a point of information directly for you. You recommended to the board that it hire Fogarty and Hara. It was on the agenda for the reorg of this board. I would like further information from you as to why your recommendation is to hire Fogarty and Hara, given your experience of having been a superintendent for over a decade and having worked with many legal counsel.
So as the parliamentarian for the board, the superintendent can answer if he wants to, but this was a matter that was addressed at the last meeting, and it looks like an attempt to rediscuss what was already moved and decided upon. And that motion stands as decided, and we're voting on those minutes tonight.
The chair does not have the authority to stop me from a point of information.
I've asked you for citation. I'm reading right here.
I requested the information from Dr. Dionisio.
All right, Dr. Dionisio, do you want to answer this?